When I said no, my doubts and demons on their way. Every endeavor I have made ever is coming into play, is here and now today.
Hello, hello, friends, and indeed, this is your moment. Thank you for being here and being awesome. You get a ring of the victory bell for being here and being amazing. And you know who else is also amazing? My next guest. Let me tell you all about him. Yaakov Weinstein is a certified transformational life coach and Psych-K facilitator. Growing through a challenging childhood and limited experiences of a sheltered community, he emerged stronger and more determined. His obsession is the unwavering belief that we can create our reality. Therefore, we can have the lives that we desired. Fueled by a love for people, adventure, and freedom. He's on a mission to guide others in setting themselves up to win, capital win. Step into a narrative where resilience and determination blend with dreams to achieve a life that you want to live. Wow. And he got all that in within 100 words. So here we go. Let's welcome the one, the only, super smart, super talented, the person who walked uphill to school both ways in the snow, barefoot, the one and only Yaakov Weinstein. Hello, hello, Yaakov. Welcome to the show. How you been doing?
Really good. You know, you left out one part. My father used to always say that he was doing his laundry since he was 2 years old. So maybe I should start saying something like that too.
Sure. and if you're taking a break from laundry out there, make sure you click that link down below so that you can comment during the live. So without any further delay, let's jump right into it. Man, Yaakov, you got some good stuff going on. So let's start off now. How is it that the universe loving or how is it that the universe like loving or hostile is a choice isn't always the way it is?
You know, it seems that way, and that was how I lived my life. You know, growing up, I always thought that my life had to look like my parents, had to look like the community. You know, pretty much the environment I grew up in is what my life could look like.
Yeah.
And I never wanted that. You know, I didn't really want the life that my parents had. I didn't want so many things that they had. And I didn't really know another way outside of that. And for the longest time, life just kept, I was fighting it. Life kept fighting back. And it just seemed miserable. And then when I finally learned that when I choose to have or to live in a loving universe. You know, Albert Einstein said the most important question facing humanity is, do you live in a loving or a hostile universe? And as soon as I made that choice, things started actually going my way. Because you have, I'm sure you've heard thoughts become things.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. It's a great idea. Yeah. Well, I talk a lot about like with my own coaching that, like, you know, your words become your thoughts become your beliefs become your actions, and your actions become your success. And when you start thinking about that, you know, your thoughts really interpret the world around you. Like, you know, we learned from Viktor Frankl, from Man's Search for Meaning, about how we have no control over what happens to us, but we have 100% control over the perception of what happens to us. And that's how I think we reconstruct our lives and pre-frame how we can move forward. So now, as a tangent to that, like you and I were talking about, you know, people go through some really hard things in life. So how can you say that it's happening for them and not to them?
You know, this may sound cliche, but you know, like the same way a diamond is created into a diamond with tremendous pressure and another sharp diamond.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what's going on. You know, we're not here by accident. We're here for a reason, and we're here to accomplish things. And a mentor of mine, he gave this a great example. It's like, you know, when you go into the gym, You start exercising. If you take on the perspective of the muscle, you're a homicidal, masochistic,
Yeah,
crazy person destroying the muscle.
that's
But
right.
if you take on the perspective of the body, that's how you grow. And that's
Yeah,
the same thing here. So if I approach something from the perspective of how is this for my growth and development, I walk away from it stronger and with opportunity.
right. Um, for example, like at karate, I would tell the children, when your legs hurt the day after karate training, that's your body's way of telling you that you're growing, that you're getting
Yes.
stronger. You want to feel that a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. You want to feel that after each training because that's your body's way of telling you you're growing stronger. So why do
Yeah.
we do push-ups? Why does our chest hurt, our arms hurt, or our back hurt, or our core, or whatever? When you're doing sit-ups or push-ups, your body's way of telling you that you're growing. It's a good
Yeah.
thing. And
Yeah.
and and
It's
um,
essentially the process of acclimating to the
mhm,
next level.
yeah. Now, tell us a little about like you know why did you get into this kind of business? Like, what there must have been a trigger or like an origin story about this. So, what happened and how did you get into it?
So I had a pretty, I guess, tumultuous upbringing.
Okay.
And I was always trying to figure out what was wrong with me. Why can't I just do what I'm told? Why can't I
Yeah.
just fall in line like everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
And I tried all sorts of things. I tried becoming closer to God. I tried
Yeah.
rejecting God. I tried psychology, psychiatry. I tried all the traditional stuff. And it wasn't until I was introduced to transformational work and coaching that I started seeing and hearing things like there's nothing wrong with you, all the answers are inside of you, which was also very much in line with the theology I was brought up in, but it
Yeah.
was played out that way. And
Yeah.
I started learning how much the way we view things and the way we view ourselves has such a major role on what we're out there to do in the world. Like we were talking about before, how something as simple as our breath can facilitate so many amazing things, like whether it's control, confidence, or relaxation. Um, there's just, we simply do not know how to operate the human being. And the more we learn how to operate the human being, what becomes possible in our lives is absolutely amazing. And that was my own experience. So I want to be able to share that with everybody else. You
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, like I am on a mission to help people set themselves up to win, because we're here to win. We're here to have amazing and phenomenal lives, and so many of us don't ever have the opportunity to step into that.
Yeah. And to like align with that, like a tangent off that is like if you don't put on your own oxygen mask, you can't help others.
Yeah.
If you are not the best version of yourself, there is a whole crop of people that are not being helped that you
Yes.
could have been helping. So it is not selfish to focus on yourself. It is not. Indeed, instead, it's actually the right thing to do because when you feel relaxed and powerful and fulfilled and you're in control of your life and in control of your destiny, guess what? That's when you can start helping other people.
100%. It's required. It's
Yeah,
required to take care of yourself first. 100%.
it's much needed. Yes, absolutely. Now, for those of you that are watching on the live, you get to thrive, and if you're watching on the replay, you get to play again. Make sure that you give us some likes and some hearts, so we know that we are giving you some great value. And Yaakov here has a really cool gift that he wants to share with everybody. So tell us what they're going to get by clicking on that link.
Sure. So many of us are simply operating off of beliefs that we got when we were growing up. They can be as simple as the way we view money, the way we view relationships, the way we view work. And if we don't actually take a moment to look at them, you've heard the concept of stinking thinking, you
Yep.
know so
Yeah.
so the in that link, you will get a guide to how to look at what some of those beliefs are that are the reason why your life isn't going the way that you want it to. And
Mhm.
in that link as well is also a journal with some prompts to really help you take control and start creating your day, which leads to creating your life.
Mhm. Yeah. And now, what's fascinating about that? People people don't realize that, by controlling your day, you really, it's, you know, let me go back to like such a cliche, like Rome wasn't built in a day. You weren't built in a day, and your success was not built in a day. And let's dispel the myth. Like people have been saying this year, wow, Roger, you're such an overnight success. And I just smile and I tell them, yes, I'm an overnight success after 6 years of failing and trying. And so all of us, like the singer Jay Sean, appear when he got really popular, people said, wow, you just came out of nowhere. It's like, what do you mean nowhere? I've been singing for 10 years at crappy clubs and dives and the audiences of 10, 20 people, and I put in my time, and that created slow momentum, a slow burn, and all of a sudden that ember turns into fire. I
Yeah.
think that's what people forget, is that it took years of effort and trying,
Yes.
and there's nothing wrong with that. But then everybody focuses on the tip of the iceberg and they don't see the work that went into it. And
Yeah.
that's what we want to just remind people. So click that link down below and get that amazing gift to help start putting your day in alignment. And you can start to control your life by controlling your day. And
Absolutely.
all right, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about what I call the softer side of Sears. Get to know you as a person, because people don't join a business, they join a person. Tell me a little bit about, like, where did you grow up? How did you grow up?
So I grew up in a suburb of New York City. I grew up as an Orthodox Jew, and I'm the oldest of 6 siblings.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, 2 of them have passed.
Oh,
I have 3 kids: a 16-year-old daughter, a 14-year-old son, and a 2.5-year-old son.
oh, wow. Surprise.
Yeah, exactly. I also, a dream I've always had for the longest time was to learn how to like survive in the wilderness.
Yeah.
And one of the gifts I got from COVID was I actually had time to go out in the wild for 45 days and learn all that. And I'm actually a certified wilderness survival instructor.
Oh, pretty
And
cool.
and building on that, I currently live in Mississippi, and I
Okay.
recently joined the fire department.
Uh-huh.
And I'm 38 years old, and it's amazing to me how this is not something I did sooner. Like,
Yeah.
it's so in line with, like, I'm into fitness, health, helping people, and just being a firefighter. It's one of those things that I really get to do, and it in my community. I don't think I ever saw a Orthodox Jewish firefighter until I was in my 30s. So it was literally it just never existed on my radar as something that's possible.
Yeah.
And now that I'm doing it, it's like, oh my gosh, I should have been doing this my entire life.
Yeah. Like, I remember, like, when we came to America. So I was born in India, raised in America. So I grew up with 2 cultures. So like, I feel you. Like, I know what that's like to kind of feel like the outsider. When I went to my new school in the suburbs, so the previous one was up in the Northeast Philly, where every race, culture, background, and color and skin, we all played together and we had no problems. When I moved to the suburbs, all of a sudden, now I stuck out like a sore thumb. I was a one Indian kid in a classroom of all white kids, and I had to learn that I was different, because there was one Indian kid, me, there was one black kid, and there was one Asian girl, and um, I had to stand up for myself and teach them what it means. And by the way, today is, I see on Google, which we will correct, they say it's American Indian Heritage Day. I'd like to correct that misnomer. There is no American Indian. I was born in India, raised in America. I'm the only American Indian there is. Today is Native American Heritage Day. So I would correct people, please don't continue a 500-year-old mistake. Christopher Columbus landed in the Bahamas. So he did not discover, he founded a new continent, but Amerigo family was who it's named after, because he realized it's a new continent. So America, welcome. All right. So what about growing up? Was there any film or any book that really inspired the way you think today?
Yes, actually, there was a book It was called A Jewish Thinking Teenager's Guide to Life
Oh, really?
by this Rabbi
Yeah.
Akiva Tatz.
Okay.
That was one of the first times where I was introduced into a way of thinking. This was very, very preliminary. Like I don't really, I mean, yeah, that was probably one of the first books in my personal development journey. I think it's
hmm
on my shelf back there.
hmm Cool. Yeah. One of my best friends, Mike Ostroff, I've known him since I think 6th or 7th grade. I was the best man at his wedding, and I wore the what do you call it?
Yarmulke,
The
kippah.
yarmulke during the wedding ceremonies, everything. Really good time, good guy. And so, I'm always fascinated to learn about other people's cultures and customs. I think that when we start to get open-minded and learn about others, we start to realize we don't have that many differences, just different ways of interpreting the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, what about uh, what's your favorite kind of music? What do you love to jam to?
So I enjoy 80s rock.
Yes, good stuff.
But I also very much enjoy Jewish music. There's something
Yeah.
about like a lot of it just I don't know, it hits me. Like I can listen to a lot of Jewish
Yeah.
songs and just start
Mm.
crying. It just like it
Oh,
touches my soul very deeply.
I'm going to send you, I think, a link when we do our. It's a Christmas concert, but it's really a holiday concert of different songs that we're doing in December with the local community choir, where I'm the bass section leader, and um, one of them is uh, uh, "Light the Candle," Jewish-based song. It's a beautiful song, and the other one is I think it's called "We Are Lights," and oh,
Hmm.
I love that one. So that's what I think about when I think about like Jewish music. I'm like, oh, it's gorgeous melodies and harmonies, and kind of like each of one of us is a light, and together we light the universe.
Yes.
And I would like to say that also that a couple days ago, like Diwali just started, so and Diwali is the day of inner light, and so it's celebrated in like India, Pakistan, most of that region, and also around the world. And so it's powerful to think that there's so many different ways for us to celebrate ourselves and each other. So
Well,
whoever,
Indians follow a lunar calendar as well, right?
yes, yep,
Because we just came out of what we call like the high holidays.
yep,
So there's a period from Jewish New Year until the Day of Repentance, and I
hmm
believe that also corresponds like perfectly with something that Indians do from that just ended recently, a couple days.
yeah, yeah. So Diwali is like a 5-day festival. So we're in like the third or fourth day now. So it started with the full moon, and so because it is a lunar calendar, sometimes it's end of October, sometimes it can be mid or late November. So between like November to December, there's like 17 different holidays that people don't realize that we
Yep.
should. So that's why now I just say to everybody, happy holidays, because there's so many. Let's enjoy all of them. All
Exactly.
right. What about what's a fun fact about you that maybe people don't know?
Huh. I don't know. I think maybe like the wilderness survival and firefighter is a fun
I
fact
know
about
that's
me.
that is a
Well,
fun
now I
fact.
already told everyone.
Mm-hmm. So, all right then. What about what's your favorite kind of like what's your favorite food? Let's go to that.
So I've always really enjoyed meat. But so my wife is from Kazakhstan, and
Okay.
I had the opportunity to go there last year and meet her family, and they served me this traditional meal that they present to the son-in-law, and
Yeah.
they gave me this a portion of this lamb, like
Yeah.
part of like the ribs.
Yep.
Holy cow! I have never had a more delicious piece of meat. She was telling me, she's like, eat whatever you want and then share it with everybody else. I'm like, babe, you're gonna have to tell me how much to eat because I will finish the whole thing otherwise. She's like, just eat, just eat. And I ate the entire thing. And they told me later, they're like, I don't think we've ever seen anyone eat all of it themselves.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get you some like a lamb. I think it's like here we go. Oh, you know what? There we go. Hello, Texas Steakhouse. Yeah. We got a carnivore in the house, and we need you to have every cut of steak and lamb, etc., sent to the green room. Thanks. So that's my totally real call to get you some big meat in the green room. So before we switch gears again and go to our next segment, tell us, what is one thing that you want people to recall about you?
Never given up. I think the one thing that has always stuck out to me simply about myself is, like, especially at the beginning of my life, I have a brother that unfortunately committed suicide a few years ago. And there were definitely times where I, thought about wanting to end it, but
right.
It never went past, wanting to be run over by a car. No matter how bad life ever got. And there were some seriously dark moments in the past, but I would always come back to, other people have a great life. I can have one too. And even if I don't know how to get it, I'm going to figure it out. And I've just always I've always lived my life that way. Like, our dreams are not meant to tease us.
Yeah. They're meant
our
to be.
Dreams are meant to inspire us. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Yaakov. Now, while you're enjoying all that food, I'm going to invite all of you to help support our sponsors for this week. And that is the one and only Parapluza coming up. This is a group run by Kimberly Crow that I've been part of. I'm a featured show host. That means I get to interview at least 5 different people during that day. So come in and join the fun. You get to, if you come and join, I think it's only $5 to watch the whole thing for free. That's it. And you get freebie gifts from every single speaker. Or if you upgrade to VIP, which is not much, I think it's $47, you get the VIP gifts and the recordings for life. So definitely take advantage of that. And speaking of lifetime access, we have now changed our group coaching from a subscription to a one-time donation, because I make enough. I want to make sure that we can create impact and access at all times. So for one-time donation, $25, you get access to that group for life. You get to meet coaches, authors, speakers, heartfelt entrepreneurs, and we all get to uplift each other through speaking, through training, through entrepreneur skills and tips and tricks. We do a monthly workshop from a business leader, so you learn what is working right now, and you get access to different kinds of AI tools that we're using to help speed up your business. And lastly, if you haven't used it yet, definitely get Talkadot. Talkadot is a tool that I use as a CRM that you can collect leads and testimonials after an event, after you speak, after a summit. My last event, I just collected 105 testimonials in less than an hour, automatically through the app. That's it. So, I mean, now I can share that with everybody else and say, wow, out of 105 people, 98% want to see me back, and that one person that I didn't, I guess they weren't there. I don't know what they said, but, and that's okay. You're always going to get that. So, but to show all that much data makes you a valuable commodity. So, and speaking of commodities, are you the commodity that people want to go to? If you're not getting the visibility that you want, we can make a speaker reel for you, for your brand. And here's an example of what we can do for you.
When you throw a rock into a lake, what happens? No, there's a splash. You make an impact, and then you get waves. And then you don't know where those waves are going. Those waves are going past around the reeds, and you don't know where that impact is. So all of you out there, when you're on stage, you don't know where your impact is going to end. It's never going to end.
All right, folks. So today, in our 60-second mind shift, I want to talk to you about what Yaakov mentioned earlier about believing in yourself, about using that value, even if sometimes you don't know where to go, right? Like at the end of all my coaching clients and my videos, I always say, believe it and become it. It's not just a tagline. It's not just a motto. It's actually a mantra. It's a real thing for me. So I love that Yaakov and I are in alignment with that, and he just says it slightly differently, but the same idea is if you can believe it, it is possible. For example, when I started in karate, I was terrible at push-ups. I hated push-ups. Nobody likes doing push-ups, right? But I started to tell myself, you know what? I like push-ups. I'm gonna trick my own brain. I tell myself, yes, I love push-ups. I love push-ups. You know, same thing in track and cross country. Say, yeah, come on, we can run faster. We can run faster. You know, sometimes you're in pain. We can go on. We can move forward. We can do it. We can do it. That belief is using those words. Remember the concept there where I talk about that 5-step chain from belief to success? Your words become your thoughts. Thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs become actions, and actions become your success, right? You want to be able to think that, but it all starts with that belief in there, right? Use that belief to make it so strong. He mentioned earlier that, you know, you always had the power all along, right? Think back to the Wizard of Oz. And the most transformational words I got out of that whole movie was, you had the power all along. You know, Glinda's telling Dorothy at the end of the movie, you know, spoiler alert, you know, you had the magic shoes. You had the power all along to go back home. And all she had to do was just choose to use it. So now when she started using those words, there's a concept called neurolinguistic programming. And that's what this is all based off about. Tony Robbins made it famous from his most recent coaching, but it stems from 60, 70 years ago when Erickson used it in the 50s. So when Erickson was talking about using words to transform your thoughts, it was a new concept, but it was powerful. And for some, it's a pseudoscience. That's okay. But for some, it really works very well. So use it and start transforming your life today. Believe it and become it. So let's bring back Yaakov and see if he saved me any food. So Yaakov, is there any food left? Did you save me any? No?
I didn't realize
okay.
I was supposed to.
I just order some more. So tell me, please, what did you think about that 60-second mind shift? What was your big takeaway, and what would you add to it?
So first of all, NLP is something that I've, neuro-linguistic programming, something I learned about a while ago. And I mean, essentially that's what affirmations are about. And I'm very big into affirmations, not just, yes, saying it over and over again is important, but really feeling it, you know, like imagining that you're already experiencing that. It completely changes the way that we operate internally. So I think what you said was really powerful. I was talking to someone. I was on shift at the fire station, and he was talking about the study that was done where everyone was riding on a bike for about 5 minutes. And after the 5 minutes, you would sprint, you would pedal as hard as you can for as long as possible. And some people went for a minute, some went for 2 minutes, some went for 45 seconds. And then as soon as they were done, they had to say out loud, okay, I can't go anymore. I can't go anymore. And then the person conducting the test said, whoever keeps going gets $100.
Yeah.
Everyone immediately was able to continue.
Yeah.
So it's really just a mental limitation. Our bodies can go way longer than our brains tell us.
Absolutely. And if you've ever, I forget the football movie where there was a coach that introduced faith-based training to his a football player, and they're doing something called like a dead crawl or something across the field, and he puts like another kid on his back, and he says like, oh, I can't go more than 20 yards, can't go more than 30 yards, no way, it's too heavy, and so the coach said, just close your eyes and do it, just close your eyes and believe it. Okay, keep going. He's pushing them across the field, and he passes the 20-yard line and the 30-yard line. By the time he's done, he's gone the entire 100 yards of the field. And the coach said to him, listen, when you didn't hold yourself back, you were able to do the impossible. And you held a 140-pound kid on your back. And the other kid said, Coach, I'm 160. And it's truly that concept that you do not know how powerful you are until you just go for it. So yes. This has been an amazing interview with you. Thank you so much for being here and being so open and just sharing just brilliant content here. Make sure you click this link down below. It's on the podcast in the show notes, on YouTube, it'll be in the comments, and on a banner, you'll find it. You guys are all smart. Yaakov, last question for you. If somebody gave you like unlimited, what is the best?
My grand vision is that people learn and get who they are. It's just that simple. We do not get who we are. You know, in the Bible, it says that we're created in God's image. And I think especially if you grew up religious, or, you know, so many of us are so scared of transgressing the second commandment of, you know, taking on an idol. And we're so scared of that we never even step into who he created us to be. And we are created to have phenomenal lives. That's what we're here for. We're here for an amazing experience. And if I was, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. So no one handed me that blank check yet, but I'm already working towards people getting who they are.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much, Yaakov. And as always, everybody, thanks for being here and being amazing. You get the victory bell. And as always, this is Coach Raja. Believe it and become it. We will see you on the next show. Bye-bye. All right, Yaakov. So, quick 3 questions for your testimonial, and we're out of here. Why did you want to come on the show? What was your biggest takeaway? And how much would you recommend me to somebody else's stage?
So, the first thing, and I apologize for how this may come off, but whatever. The idea that you do this with your stuttering is so inspiring. I mean, you know, how many of us let different things that we're dealing with in life be the reason that we don't do whatever it is that we want to do? And all there really is to do is just, you know, stare down whatever it is. And you're only going to find out what's on the other side by passing through. So just the opportunity to connect with you, and, you know, this is the start of a very long, worthwhile friendship.
Absolutely.
So that's what I saw the opportunity, and that's what I took away from it as well.
Okay,
you're an inspiration.
Thank you. Hey, just like Nike, just do it. I tell people all the time, I didn't have a voice until a couple of years ago. I was hiding behind karate, hiding behind singing, hiding behind cancer research, because I was ashamed. And it's only in the past couple of recent years, I'm finally not ashamed of my speech impediment anymore. And I say, you know what, this is me, accept me as I am. And all of a sudden, that alone helped me speak a little bit more fluently. And I'm still not perfect, but as a result of showing that you can be imperfect and still make impact, I think that alone is powerful for a lot of people.
Yeah, I was just talking to my wife earlier this morning, and embracing our shadow self, you know, the parts that we don't like about ourselves, is so important, because you're not getting rid of them anyways. The only chance you actually have is to figure out how to make peace and live together and use that. You know, all the parts of us are necessary for who we are. That's just the way it is.
All right, great. And last question for you. Would you recommend me to somebody else's stage?
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
So
all right.
I actually spoke to you about some other people, and they all knew you. I was surprised.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've gotten around now the past couple of years. People are
you have.
It's funny. Like I said, hey, I'm an overnight success after 6 years of trying, right? So that's all it takes, right? So, all right. Podcast crew knows what to do from here, and we are officially off. So